Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming. And today, I would like to start out my presentation with a question. Can anyone answer me? What do these companies have in common? Yes, come on.
These companies are very successful. Yeah?
Yes, you are right, and you are right as well, but you can say that about many companies. You have to be more specific. Yes, Jennifer.
You were startups?
Seriously. But you can say that about many companies. What makes these companies so special?
They're all giants.
I guess I'll have to answer the question myself. These are all family businesses. And as you can guess, today we will talk about the family business. But what makes family business so successful, you may ask? What are its disadvantages, if any, and where does it feel most natural and comfortable? Answering these questions will be the main purpose of my presentation. So, I see you're all interested. Let's move on to my plan. The first topic that I want to talk about is the advantages of family business. I'll say why family business is so spread, so successful, and so good. In my second point, I'll mention the disadvantages of family business. There aren't much, but still. And in my last and final part, I'll say where business feels most natural, comfortable. Okay. I see you're all ready, so let's not spend no ceremony here and start. First advantage that I want to mention is simple and effective structure. It's very easy to start a family business and to manage it too. The reason being is hierarchy is very simple. One of the main reasons why crime organizations have thrived over the last century is because of very effective management system, which is very simple, well organized, and efficient. The second advantage I will mention is commitment. Commitment is probably this thing that makes family business so special. Family members are usually the ones who invest most of the time and most of the money to get business off the ground. And if things go bad, family members will be the ones who will try to make them better, even if the company is not doing that well. Okay, and another advantage I will mention, which is in my eyes the most important advantage of the family business, is understanding. Family members usually go very well with each other, since they know each other for their whole life most of the time. But the last advantage I want to mention is solid informal training. Parents and grandparents always teach their members of the family about the business, which is why such businesses usually have the same leadership style, although some might opt to change it. Well, that's it for my first part. Now let's transition to my second part, which is the disadvantages of family business. Every system has its disadvantage, even family business, a few disadvantages, but still. And the first disadvantage I want to talk about is family communications. As I already mentioned, family communications might be one of the main advantages of a business, but if things go bad, family members are apt to blame each other, and it leads to the second disadvantage, which is conflicts. If business goes bad, there is room for a lot of hate and rivalry between the family members. And if the family head dies, there is a trend for fight for the assets of the company. Even if the family head writes a will and spreads the shares accordingly, there is still room for hate and rivalry. And this leads me to my third point, which is succession. However, that's all I wanted to say about disadvantages, because frankly, there isn't much to say. Let's now transition to my third and final part, which is the spheres, where family business feels most natural and comfortable. First sphere that I want to mention is the restaurant business. I'm sure it's not a surprise to anyone that most popular and famous restaurants in Europe are all family businesses. The reason being, family business restaurants are cheaper, more convenient and comfortable, and more safe. What I mean by safe is no one will try to rob you or anything of that kind in a family business restaurant, because every member of the restaurant, of the family member in the restaurant has a stake in the restaurant. Okay, now let's talk about automotive industry. It may come as a surprise to everyone that in such high-tech and high-expense industry there are a lot of family businesses. Such titans like Toyota, Fiat, Ford, and even Volkswagen, and even BMW are all family businesses. However, the last sphere that I want to mention is supermarket business. It was actually a really huge surprise to me that all the famous supermarkets I know are family business. Like Walmart, Auchan, Metro, Aldi Group, they are all family businesses. Well, that's actually all I wanted to say about the fears of my presentation, and let's take a few minutes to summarize. Firstly, I mentioned 4 main advantages of family business. Then, I highlighted 3 main disadvantages which the system has. And lastly, but not leastly, I talked about where family business feels the best and better. And in conclusion, I would like to say that the main goal of my presentation was to introduce you to the family business. And I hope that we succeeded in just that. And before I open up the floor for questions, I would like to say that I personally would be honored if my parents would once ask me to continue the family business. And you, what would you say? Now it's your time to ask me all the questions you want. Thank you for listening.
Amazing.
Okay, any other words besides? Let's learn some other words besides. Sasha getting hot.
Yeah, he got progress in speaking.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Obviously,
No,
yes.
speaking is much better.
It always sounded fierce, always sounded like fierce person.
Right, yes, okay. Right, yes, Nija, say a word, say something.
And when it was concluded, it was better to use this slide.
Yes,
I
that's
guess I
why.
would like to make a slide for conclusion.
This
Oh,
one, I mean,
No, this
okay.
slide. Just slides.
Okay, yeah. But I don't like slides for conclusion.
Nobody said you need a slide for conclusion.
Yeah.
Make it
Wait,
blank,
okay.
make it dark.
Yeah, I actually wanted to make it, but I forgot it while the presentation.
Yes, right?
And actually, I think I forgot to mention how long will be your presentation, 7 to 8 minutes.
No problem, we all know. You can't overrun much. Yes, Nija, you wanted to say, excuse us. We
I said
interrupted
I
you.
liked Sasha's presentation.
Yes, be more specific.
Yeah, I think Sasha was very fluid and confident what he was talking about. That's the main thing I pointed out.
Okay, anything that needs to be improved,
Needs
could
to
be
be
improved.
improved.
Yeah.
More passion, but that's
I think
I have much more passion.
I wanted to ask
You can't ask some people to be impassionate, and you can't ask some people to be more passionate, right? This is Sasha's style.
The maximum passion that I ever was
Yes.
before.
I suppose he's doing quite well on the passion
Just
scale,
like-
right?
Yes.
Yes, Dennis.
I just wanted some even more, ups and downs in the voice or something like that.
But it's the way he
I wanted him to be even more aggressive.
I'm scared to think what Sasha will do in May, right?
Like that, then you
It's so much pressure.
last
The,
year.
the expectations run so high. You've got to match them, right?
No, that was impressive, really
Yeah,
good.
good. Sash, I wrote to you about this. I still dislike the idea of talking about disadvantages and having family communication as a disadvantage. It's not a disadvantage.
Well, that's what
There
I
were
said.
advantages.
I actually said that family, as I already mentioned, family communication was one of the main advantages, but if business goes better, it becomes a disadvantage. I said that in this presentation.
Yes, I know, but your slides should be self-sufficient. Your slide should have its internal logic. Disadvantages, family communication.